Hello everyone, welcome back. Please comment, subscribe, folks. Comment, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos. I want to thank everyone who does like, watch, and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen, folks, there's a link tree down below. It has a link to all of my social media. Please go down there and follow me across my social media platforms. Also has a link to my YouTube pages as well. Please go down there, subscribe to all my YouTube pages. Turn on the notifications when I post content. You folks will be in the know. And I want to thank everyone that gets involved with those links any way that they can. So now with that said and done and put to the side, I'm coming to talk to you folks today about the possibility of the New York Jets trading for Deshaun Watson. For those of you that don't know, the Houston Texans and Deshaun Watson seem to be at odds at this point. There seems to be something going on over there. The Houston Texans have just hired their new general manager, and it seems like Deshaun Watson is not too happy about the direction of the football team. Maybe he's not too happy about the guy that they hired as well. He put out a little subtweet, and I'm just going to kind of paraphrase that, things are not changing in the direction that he wants them to go. So there's been reports that he may want out, and now people are really scrambling around saying, hey, should the Houston Texans trade Deshaun Watson? And there's some people saying that they, should move on from him and should really be looking to get rid of him because he wants out, reportedly. So I got a lot of Jets fans on my timeline, got a lot of Jets fans in my DMs as well, saying, hey, Joe, what are your thoughts about this? How do you feel about this situation? Do you think the Jets should trade for Deshaun Watson? I have some people telling me outright, we need to do it and do it now, point blank, period, right? Here's the deal. I think this is sort of a pipe dream. I don't think that the Texans will move on from Deshaun Watson, but if they do, right, if they do trade him, it's going to be way too much capital for us to give up. We don't have enough. We don't have enough cash. We don't have enough capital to get Deshaun Watson and continue to build this football team the way we want to. We don't. And that's what's going to kill us, or that's what's going to kill our opportunity in this trade, right? So I look at the situation and I say to myself, Jamal Adams, which is a box safety, we netted 2 first-round picks for him. Then people are talking about Trevor Lawrence in this draft. One of the reasons why everyone was screaming about the first pick in the first round was, hey, we get Trevor Lawrence, and if teams want to trade up, according to some analysts, you're going to get at least 3 first-round picks. That's just the starting, talk. It's just 3 first-round picks. You're going to get a bunch of seconds, a bunch of thirds, a bunch of fourths, so on and so forth. You're basically going to give up 2 to 3 drafts for Trevor Lawrence. Well, when you look at that and you say, okay, well, this kid out of college who hasn't done a damn thing in the NFL, you're going to give up 2 to 3 drafts from him. What do you think you're going to give up for the number 5 quarterback in the league? He's the 5th best quarterback in the league. That's exactly what Deshaun Watson is. And it's not like he's like the 5th dude. He can ascend. He has more than enough talent to be the best quarterback in the league, to be completely honest. Some people consider him the best quarterback in the league. He's a franchise quarterback that just signed a new deal. He's got an extension, and we'll talk about that a little bit later as well, because that's going to impact us if we do move on, or if we are trying to move and make a trade for him. But this dude is out of this world. He's ridiculously good. But we don't have enough to surround around him if we get rid of that capital. We are a really bad football team. Really bad, okay? We're bad at premium positions. Our offensive line is horrific. Outside of Mekhi Becton, everybody on this line is trash. We need to replace all of them as soon as possible. And that's what we need to utilize our capital to do as well. Our weapons, we have next to none. Brashad Perryman is not a number 1 wide receiver, but he's a number 1 here. The only guys we have that are worth a damn is Mims, who's a young guy we're still trying to figure out what he is, and Crowder, who's a designated slot receiver. We do not have enough. We don't have a number 1. We don't right now. Officially, we don't have a number 2. Right? Our offensive line is bad. We lack weapons offensively. Then you look at our defense. Our defense could really be getting ripped up this coming offseason as well. There's a lot of guys on 1-year deals. Lots of guys that could not end up being here next year. We also have issues at corner. We have no pass rusher. Marcus May could end up being gone at the end of this season too if he doesn't resign. There's so many questions on this football team. What we need is an infuse of young, cheap talent. And guess where you get that? The draft. You get that in the draft. That's why draft capital is so pivotal for us. We must hit on the guys that we have coming up. We must gain as much capital as we can because we're in a full-blown rebuild. Trading for Deshaun Watson only hits the pedal to the floor and accelerates and turns us from a rebuilding team to I don't know what exactly we would be. Because he would come in and be on a hefty contract, and we would have gave up hefty capital that would enable us to not build correctly. So I look at the situation, giving up critical team building capital to get Deshaun Watson at this point, I don't think it's the move for us. I think it would be a mistake because I think that the Houston Texans would ask for a haul as they should, and we just don't have it. We're not in that. We're not in that space. Excuse me. Then you look at the situation, and I tell people all the time. I say, hey, I understand everyone wants Deshaun Watson, but guess what? If we had done things correctly in the past, like we should have, we'd be in a prime position to get him. If we had invested properly, the same way the Bills invested properly in Josh Allen, if we had invested properly in Sam Darnold and the offensive line, if we had hit on our picks for our offense and had that build up, and the team was in a situation where we had enough talent, right? Then we could make that move. You know, if Sam Darnold just wasn't working out under those pretenses, we can make that move and go, okay, well, the problem is the quarterback. We need to move on. Well, here we've done none of that. We haven't invested properly at all. We're not in a position to do anything with that capital except get young players in here because we just don't have enough. Well, you surround Deshaun Watson with what? Nothing. If you go back to his early years in the Texans, he suffered a lot of injuries because he was not protected properly. When he comes here, he's going to be running for his life again because he won't be protected properly here. These are the issues. That's what I talked about years ago when I said, hey, the mistakes that we're making today, we'll be paying for tomorrow. Well, we're paying for them now. You know, and then I had a lot of people hit me up and say, well, Joe, you know, I understand what you're talking about the draft and all that stuff, but we could utilize free agency. We could just, you know, we could get him. I understand we'll give away our drafts, but then we can go into free agency and get a bunch of guys in free agency. And I say, whoa. Have we not learned? Have we not learned about the free agency thing and relying heavy on free agency to build football teams? That's exactly what Mike McCagney used to do. Anybody remember that guy? He used to bust out full drafts and then turn around and try to rely on free agency to build this football team. That's where we ended up with guys like Tremaine Johnson, Spencer Long, you know, all these other guys that had come in. Hell, people are talking about C.J. Mosley and getting rid of him. We paid him $18 million in free agency. He's played, I think, 2 games in 2 years. We gave Le'Veon Bell $14 million a season. You know, all these things. You don't want to go into free agency and overpay. We don't have enough. People are screaming about Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson pretty much is going to make $20 million $20 million a year. And that's just like starting off for him. We're not even talking about the fact that we have to pay the Jets tax. We only have $70 million in cap space. $70 million. It can go up a little bit with some of the guys we could cut, but at this point we got $70 million in cap space. That's not enough. Especially when you add on Deshaun Watson's contract as well. Because he has $70 million in guarantees, he's going to be making $35-40 million within the next, I think, 1 or 2 years. Dude, we do not have enough. We just don't have enough. You cannot rely on free agency to fix this situation. That will kill us again. We've made massive mistakes, and now we're paying for them. I'm going to put it out right now. The reason why trading for Deshaun Watson is not feasible for us, unless the Texans are going to give him away for 1 first-round pick and something else, which I do not believe that they will do, which would be completely idiotic, right? Even dumber than the trade that they made with DeAndre Hopkins, even dumber than that. The reason why we will stumble in this trading block and end up not with him is because we did not properly invest and we didn't do what it takes to build the future the way we should have. Because if we were in a prime position to get this guy, if we had invested properly, right, with our draft capital, we could really take a serious look at trading for him. But because we didn't do what it took then, we're paying for it now. This is what I told people about. It is what it is. So please comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. How do you folks feel about this situation? Would you trade for Deshaun Watson? What would be the max that you would give up if you were to trade for Deshaun Watson? And just how you feel about this situation, you know? I want to know what you folks think about this. Please comment down below. You folks have a good one. Peace.